As a person who worked all my life, pay tax, I am very angry because I'm not able to protect my own daughter.
This man hides his face for his own protection, but not his feelings after his daughter was nearly raped inside a Merced parking lot. The violent act was committed by a man just released from jail thanks to the state's prison realignment law. Good evening. I'm Monty Torres.
And I'm Anna Laurel. Thank you for joining us. Assembly Bill 109 was signed into law in April of last year. Since then, law enforcement agencies and regular folks question whether shipping state prison inmates to local jails is the answer to reducing the state's budget deficit. KMPH News reporter Eric Rosales introduces us to a father who says the price of putting criminals back on the street to balance a budget is too great.
This weekend, a 20-year-old Merced woman was nearly raped inside this parking lot by a convicted sex offender. Police say the man who did it, this man, Gabriel Fuentes, who happened to be released days earlier from the Merced County Jail under the guidelines of Assembly Bill 109, the state's prison realignment law.
It's not working. These are cold-blooded person because they put a great threat to the people, and they should have never been released.
This man is the father of the 20-year-old woman who was attacked. He doesn't want his face shown for fear of retaliation, but says the state wanting to save money to keep these people out of prison isn't worth the pain they're causing to others. Thanks to AB 109, inmates with a history of serious offenses who would normally be sent to prison for violating their parole may be released only after a few weeks.
This cold-blooded man should never have been released.
How is your daughter doing?
She is still in shock, afraid. She did not want to go out by herself.
He may have a point when you take a closer look at the 45-year-old's criminal history. Court records show in 1992, Fuentes was convicted of lewd and lascivious acts with a child under 14. He was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Since then, he's been arrested for parole violations. In 2010, he was arrested on drugs and weapons charges. He got parole. Last month, he was arrested again for not checking in with his parole officer. He was sentenced to 100 days in jail. He spent 23 days in jail before being released due to overcrowding.
Is it working to the benefit of the public, or is it working to the benefit of the budget?
Lieutenant Bimley West, who's been on the force for 26 years, says these early release parolees have no fear of the law because they know it won't be long till they're set free.
They get out, they attack our officers, they seem to be a little bit more aggressive toward our officers, they don't mind fighting our officers, and not only that, most importantly, they're victimizing our victims over and over and over again.
Before AB 109, Fuentes would have been forced to stay behind bars for up to a year for violating his parole. Now the maximum anyone can get is only 180 days. Even at that, as you heard, Fuentes only spent 23 days before he was let out and committed that act again. Anna?
Eric, the state tells us that violent offenders don't get released early. Is a sex crime not a violent offense?
That lewd and lascivious acts, that was back in 1992. So since then, he did serve 3 years in prison. So he served his sentence. What he was let out for was just violating his parole.
All right. Well, what about that girl? I know that you spoke with her father. I mean, I can guess how she's doing. Did he tell you the latest on her?
Yeah, he definitely said that he's going to have to get her some spiritual and psychological help. So, yeah, prayers go out to her.
Unbelievable. Thank you, Eric.